A man was driving a car when he hit a roadside barrier and came to a stop, and before he could get out of the vehicle, a thug walked over.
Your parking fee. This is a Chicago parking sign.
Seeing that Tommy was an outsider, the thug began scheming to squeeze some money out of him.
And you're gonna pay, motherfucker.
Get the fuck out of here with that.
Oh, fuck.
Give me the knife.
Tommy tried to pull out his weapon and then gave him a harsh lesson.
Ah! It hurts like a motherfucker in the cold.
This is Chicago, a city swarming with gangs. It turns out Tommy was only passing through, hoping to visit his grandmother whom he hadn't seen in years. Later, he arrived at a bar to take a short break, but just then...
Hey, Jagger, move your car.
What's with this city and parking? Hey, keep moving.
We don't want to ask you again. Move your fucking car.
It seemed this time he had run into some tough trouble, and the tension between them was about to explode. Two men got out of the car, ready to teach Tommy a lesson.
Started? Get the fuck in there and do your job.
Fortunately, the man stepped out in time to stop them, or else both sides would have ended up badly hurt. He approached Tommy to talk, hoping he could move to make things easier. To Tommy's surprise, the man clearly had some connections. From their conversation, Tommy learned that they were members of the local Flynn family, and the one he had just clashed with was none other than Victor, the Flynn family's eldest son.
That name's supposed to mean something to me.
You don't want to stick around Chicago to find out.
Just then Victor, who had just finished collecting protection money, walked out of the bar. Both sides gave each other a way to back off and parted on uneasy terms. But Tommy turned around and went inside, fixing his eyes on one of Victor's men. Calmly, he downed a drink, then followed the man outside, where he brutally beat him and crippled one of his hands on the spot. Tommy casually picked up the man's phone, and right then a message from Victor came through. It revealed that there was a shipment deal happening that night, and Victor reminded his men not to waste any time. At that moment, the bar owner stepped out, and to their surprise, she and Tommy felt an instant spark. Her name was Leah, and she said she carried a beautiful butterfly on her, then invited Tommy to her home. Leah brought him back to her place and let herself go completely. Meanwhile, Victor had already arrived at the deal's location, but his man's phone kept going unanswered. Just then,
The next two go into your motherfucking head.
Tommy first confiscated his weapon, then forced him out of the car and ordered Victor to take him to the deal's location. From Victor, he learned that the other party was supposed to be just two people. But when they arrived, inside the place were not only two junkies but also a black man, and it was truly a narrow escape from fate. It turned out the black gang was the sworn enemy of the Flynn family, and even Victor hadn't expected them to show up there. Just as both sides were still wondering what was going on.
Oh, everybody cool tonight?
The two junkies were clearly high and demanded that everyone hand over the money immediately. The three of them were caught off guard, but Tommy quickly guessed their intention. It was obvious they wanted to steal the goods. Judging from how nervous they were, it was clear these kids had no real experience.
Oh, fuck. This your first deal.
This ain't our first fucking deal.
Oh, yeah, it is. Y'all breaking your cherries right now.
Just as Tommy was about to step forward and intervene, the two fired wildly without aiming and quickly emptied all their bullets. Seizing the moment, Tommy stood up.
Ah! Oh, you gotta know your clip. This ain't no video game. See, I got 4 bullets left in this gun. 3. 2. You don't want to let me get to 1.
Tommy gave him a chance and let him leave, but the mess in front of him still needed handling. On one side was Victor, the eldest son of the white Flynn family, and on the other, the second in command of the black gang. More importantly, a bag of goods worth over 100,000 lay on the ground. Tommy made an important decision. Since he had saved both of their lives, he wanted to claim his reward. Before anyone could react, Tommy grabbed the bag and walked away. Neither of them expected an outsider to dare cause trouble in their territory, but seasoned Tommy was prepared. He had a basic understanding of the strength of the two gangs, and he knew that taking their goods meant they wouldn't let him off easily. Afterwards, Tommy went to the nursing home to visit his grandmother, but as he was about to leave...
Who sent you?
And who the fuck are you?
I'm her grandson. Who the fuck are you?
I'm her fucking grandson.
Unexpectedly, he ran into his half-brother. After a brief exchange of pleasantries, they shared contact information. Tommy was about to leave Chicago and drive to another city when several cars suddenly pursued him. Before he had time to react, they intercepted him. Calmly, Tommy stepped out of the car to find members of the Flynn family waiting, signaling that he would have to accompany them. He was then taken to the Flynn family's territory, where he met the patriarch, Walter, Victor's father. The old man's purpose was simple: to thank Tommy for saving his son's life. Respectful of the rules, Tommy returned the bag of goods he had taken earlier. Although Walter expressed his gratitude, it wasn't over. True to his manner, the old man first showed courtesy but then warned Tommy not to overstep. He tried to intimidate Tommy, but it was clear Tommy wasn't buying it and made an important decision. He then called his business partner in another city and told them,
I don't work for nobody no more. I think I'm gonna stay here. I'm my own boss now.
Tommy made a U-turn and stayed in Chicago. He then arrived at the Black Gang's territory, where the leader, a man named Davids, awaited. To show his goodwill, Tommy returned some of the money and goods he had taken earlier, which took Davids by surprise. He hadn't expected Tommy to act with such principle. Tommy's intention was simply not to make an enemy of the Black Gang. Out of courtesy, Davids decided to personally see Tommy off. But just as they stepped outside and hadn't gone far,
Keep your fucking hands where I can see it! Back up!
a few masked men suddenly ambushed them, quickly tying them up and taking both Davids and Tommy to their territory. However, Tommy felt that this had nothing to do with him.
Excuse me, motherfucker? Now I'm part of it.
These people were members of the Rocha gang from South Chicago. 15 years ago, Davids had left their former leader crippled. Having just been released from prison, Davids was immediately captured by them. However, their goal wasn't revenge for their old boss. They wanted Davids and Tommy to help transport their goods. Since Chicago streets were swarming with police, the Rocha gang threatened the two to deliver the cargo safely and demanded that all the goods be transported within 3 hours, or their lives would be at risk. To prevent any tricks, they even captured David's younger brother as leverage.
Cops are moving heavy and we want our fucking money!
You have an hour to finish all the drops. Our baby brother dies.
Fuck, we gotta hurry.
The two had no choice but to cooperate. With a clear division of labor, Tommy handled the deliveries and collected the money, while Davids waited in the car outside. However, when they reached the last house, a police car pulled up. Because Tommy's car had out-of-town plates, Davids drew the officer's attention. The police ordered him to show his ID and step out for inspection, but Davids dared not move his hands recklessly. Any suspicious action could get him shot at any moment.
Driver, step out of this fucking car now! Do not make me ask you again!
At the critical moment, Tommy, having finished the last delivery, stepped out. After verifying the car owner's identity, the officers confirmed it was Tommy, and both narrowly escaped disaster. They then returned to the Rocha gang's territory, where Davids threw a bag of money to them. Once it was verified, his brother was released. To show his gratitude, Davids handed Tommy $25,000 as a reward. The two then went their separate ways. Tommy took the $25,000, rented a house, and plans to start his business there. After a short rest, Tommy appeared again, but the car was filled with the roaring voices of several people. After dealing with the Rocha gang, he made a stylish exit. Tommy then returned once more to the Black Gang's territory to return the favor to Davids. Just as Tommy stepped out of the car and walked down the street.
Who the fuck told you I was here?
Wait a minute. I know you.
Of course you do, pendejo. You're here to fucking kill me.
It turned out the two were old acquaintances with a past grudge. Just as Tommy was about to draw his weapon, a patrolling police officer happened to pass by, and the encounter ended uneasily. That night, Tommy broke into a woman's house, and the two clashed again. The woman, named Lily, had once helped Tommy with deliveries, but circumstances had forced them apart. She didn't expect to see Tommy here and mistakenly thought he had come to kill her. Unexpectedly, a kick revealed a hidden stash under the floor, containing goods worth hundreds of thousands. From Lily, Tommy learned that she had stolen the goods herself and kept them extremely secure, having eliminated everyone else present. Tommy then devised a plan and gave her two choices.
I could either kill you or we could work together. Which one are gonna be?
I'm always on the side of money.
Pack this shit up. Let's get to work.
Tommy wanted to use these goods as startup capital. Soon, the two of them struck a deal and began planning how to dominate the Chicago market. However, every gang has its own rules. The northern part of the city belonged to the white gang led by the Fallon family, while the southern part was controlled by the black gang led by Davids. Both gangs never interfered with each other's business, and crossing boundaries was strictly forbidden. But Tommy deliberately wanted to break the rules. He aimed to use the goods in his possession to win over both gangs and, through a cooperative relationship, monopolize the Chicago market. Later, Tommy approached Walter of the Fallon family. Since the Fallon family only dealt in pills, Walter was initially unwilling to enter the powdered drugs market, but under Tommy's persuasion, the elder Walter eventually agreed. Next, Tommy convinced Davids of the Black Gang. After persuading both sides, they arranged a meeting at a bar. Yet before they could discuss much, Walter brought up past grievances between the two gangs, which angered Davids so much that he walked out, ending the negotiation in failure. While the negotiations collapsed, Lily ran into trouble. The person confronting her was the owner of the goods she had stolen, who threatened her to hand them over immediately. In desperation, Lily sent Tommy a text using a code to alert him to the danger. Tommy arrived in time to resolve the situation, but when he checked their identification, he realized he was in serious trouble. The individuals were part of the Serbian mafia, which controlled the Western Chicago market. Not only were they wealthy, but they were also extremely powerful. Fearing retaliation, Tommy hid Lily in the mafia's territory. He then discussed the situation with Davids. Tommy knew the Serbian gang would not let this go and, given some personal grudges, he saw an opportunity to completely eliminate them and take over their market. However, Davids did not want to provoke such trouble, leaving Tommy to fend for himself. That night, Tommy met with the Serbian gang leader and voluntarily returned the goods Lily had stolen, hoping to spare her. But the leader not only refused to relent but also threatened Tommy's life.
Kill me? Tatiana, ain't you heard? I'm already dead. That's how you get a cookie.
We're in this now!
It was Victor of the Fallon family who stepped in to help. In the end, the gang leader also fell at Tommy's hands. It turned out that Victor, wanting to break free from the family business inherited from his father, hoped to establish his own enterprise. Secretly, he struck a deal with Tommy and Davids, agreeing to join forces to take on the Serbian mafia. Meanwhile, upon learning that one of his men had been killed by Tommy, the Serbian gang boss, Mitch, immediately came to Chicago. After dealing with an incompetent subordinate, he launched a manhunt for Tommy. The man was driving down the road when a car suddenly caught up and blocked Tommy's path. A young, beautiful girl then got out of the car. She was Rebecca, Walter's daughter. She took out a small bottle, applied its contents to her lips, and then... The next day, Tommy couldn't wait to share the product with Lily, telling her it was the best thing he had ever seen and that he was certain it could dominate the entire Chicago market. He asked Lily to analyze its ingredient structure. Meanwhile, Victor secretly teamed up with the Black Gang behind his father's back. Under Tommy's leadership, they prepared to completely eliminate the Serbian gang in the West Side and seize all their sales channels in Chicago. The group soon launched their operation, easily taking out a small squad, but at that moment, Victor's close friend was killed on the spot, forcing them to retreat quickly. Tommy's team then arrived at the Serbian gang's stronghold. Facing heavy gunfire, one of the Black Gang's men was also fatally shot. With the final gunshot, Tommy's team wiped out all the Serbian gang members, yet Mitch's body was nowhere to be found. At that moment, Tommy received a call from Mitch himself. An hour earlier, Mitch had found Lily's hiding place and used it to lure Tommy into a trap. After hanging up, Tommy resolved to rescue Lily, but his team refused to join, unwilling to risk more lives. Left to his own devices, Tommy went alone to the meeting point, only to find Mitch had prepared an ambush, intending for Tommy to have no return. Suddenly, under an unexpected attack, the Serbian gang fled, leaving Tommy baffled but unharmed. The mysterious attacker turned out to be David's younger brother, who acted to avenge his close friend. After the action, the team returned to their territory. Despite losing one man each, they successfully took over the Serbian gang's sales channels. Once in control, they decided to dissolve the alliance and return to developing their own markets. Tommy then approached Rebecca, planning to partner with her to invest in his new product. But just as everything seemed to be going smoothly, Victor and his girlfriend were ambushed. Mitch had come alone to the gang's territory, tracked down the killer of his son, and aimed to exact revenge while issuing a warning.
Comes after my boy and my family, I'll burn this fucking site to the ground.
After being attacked by the Serbian gang, Victor went home and confessed everything between him and Tommy to his father. Walter was furious, having long warned him against working with Tommy. Taking matters into his own hands, Walter handled the aftermath for his son and, in doing so, declared war on the Serbian gang. But his motives went beyond avenging his son. Victor's girlfriend was black, and because of her skin color, Walter strongly opposed their relationship. He intended to provoke the Serbian gang as a means of retaliating against his son's girlfriend. That day, as Victor was preparing to elope with his girlfriend, they were ambushed again. The assassin quickly escaped, and tragically, Victor's girlfriend was killed. After the attack, Walter framed Tommy, making his son believe that Tommy was allied with the Serbian gang. This drove a wedge between Victor and Tommy, planting seeds of hatred. Meanwhile, Tommy and Rebecca had already launched their business, and their new product was spreading throughout Chicago's streets, achieving great success. But just then, conflict arose between them. Upon learning that her brother had been attacked, Rebecca confronted Tommy directly. Tommy realized it was Walter's scheme, and without much explanation, the two went their separate ways, becoming enemies. The Fallon family had also prepared for war, determined to completely eliminate Tommy and the Serbian gang. At the same time, Tommy was ready. Armed with his new product, he went alone to the Serbian gang's territory. Tempted by the innovative product, the Serbian gang eventually agreed to an alliance with Tommy. Tommy then took 2 of Mitch's men and decided to formally declare war on the Fallon family. Meanwhile, several Irish assassins had arrived in Chicago under Walter's orders to eliminate Tommy. Fully armed, they secretly infiltrated Tommy's laboratory, but Tommy and his team were prepared and easily neutralized the attackers. However, Victor and one of the assassins managed to escape. The failed raid infuriated Walter, who then kidnapped Tommy's brother to lure him into a trap. Elsewhere, David's younger brother, John, plotted to seize power and sent his men to eliminate David's. They broke into his home, but David's, having anticipated this, captured the ringleader and dealt with him. When John returned home and saw his brother's body, he realized it was a warning from David's, but by then, it was too late for regret. John then approached Mitch, the Serbian boss, manipulating the relationship between Mitch's gang and Tommy while also offering to mediate between the Serbian gang and the Fallon family. Walter, not wanting a mutually destructive conflict, recognized that Tommy was their ultimate target. Eventually, an alliance was formed, agreeing to join forces against Tommy. At the same time, Tommy and David's reached a mutual understanding, planning to end their conflict. David's pretended to abduct Tommy, intending to use him as leverage to secure his brother, but then, at that moment, John tried to escape amid the chaos, and David's immediately pursued him. Despite the confrontation, David's did not harm his brother. Instead, he split his territory in half with him, and the two finally went their separate ways. Meanwhile, Tommy took Victor hostage, leading to a tense standoff between the sides. Just as Lily was about to intervene, Rebecca shot her, knocking her to the ground. It was then that Victor learned the truth. All of this had been Walter's scheme. To prevent further bloodshed, both sides calmed down, but Lily had already lost too much blood and did not survive. After seeing Lily off, Tommy left only a simple message behind.
I want the whole fucking map.